morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So what we have here is week 23 of my week in review. If you haven't seen, this is where each week I go through what my check-in form looks like and kind of the nuts and bolts in the background. If you haven't seen the previous weeks, go check out the playlist on my channel and you can see how things progress week on week. So you can see here that I have updated my short-term and long-term goals for the next 3, 6 and 12 months. I think this is important to do sometimes because we do get a little bit lost in the weeds about what we're trying to do and we focus on the micro rather than the macro. So over the next 3 months, which is roughly my improvement season, which we've just started as touched on in the last video, is I want to increase the muscularity in my arms and my posterior particularly, but overall for my height, I'm not a particularly big guy. So just improve muscularity in general would be great. Condition wise, I like where I'm at. I don't want it to slip any further. If it can improve, great, but I'm not so concerned about necessarily improving it. But if it does improve, I'm not going to be disappointed. And I really want to put myself in a position where when prep starts, December, maybe January time, I don't have 40, 50, 60 pounds of body fat to pull off, which will allow me to train harder, keep everything going nicely in the background. So like content creation, my actual job, my coaching business and my clients, without me having to really dig in for too long. And I think that's the thing that's done it for me in the past is the what they call the diet fatigue, where it's just you've just been doing it a while. So I've also plugged in when pre-prep starts, which is 18 weeks, so the 18th of October, which actually falls quite nicely because my birthday is the 11th. And then the long-term goals. So in the next 6 to 12 months, I want to step on stage with my best package yet. What I mean by that is most muscularity, maintain the proportions I have, if not improve them, because I think that is one of my stronger points, really. You might see, if you scroll back through some of the videos, that I did a little bit of a series last year during prep about being center stage. Now, what is center stage for the people that don't understand or maybe just are new to bodybuilding? When you're in the middle of the stage, it kind of means you're winning. There's very, very few times where you've been you're pushed to the end because you've won. I think it's happened maybe a couple of times on the pro stages where they go, yeah, we don't need to see you, you've already won, so we're just going to see who gets second. But so that would be another thing for me. Get back into that center of the call outs, and I really want to battle for a class win. Now, whether that's doable, I don't know because it depends on who shows up on stage or on the day. But for me, I've got 3 third places now. Never had a second. A second would be great, but a class win would be absolutely wonderful. And something else that I'm giving myself the goal of is reverse out even better than last time. So when you finish a bodybuilding comp, you then do what they call the reverse phase. Some people call it a rebound. I'm not a fan of that term because it says that you're just going to bound up into the high body fat percentages and eat as much as you can for as long as you can and get quite fat quite quick. So reverse out meaning that maintain control, stay strict on the diet, and just set myself up so that I'm lean in the off season again, which has seen probably my most progress so far, even from when I started, I would say. So let's have a look how the week looked. On the timeline, I'm 2.3 pounds up. Now, there was a jump in increase in calories, so we added in about 500 to each day. Output changed slightly. Nothing really happened with the anabolic side of things. So I'm okay with this because if we actually look at the nuts and bolts, Friday I weighed in. This was when my check-in is. I was 219.8 anyway. I had a low of 216, but it's held on average around the 220, 222 mark. Now that for me is about right. 1 to 2 pound up and down most days isn't unusual for me. So that's basically that. As for the peptides, I moved the GH down from 5 to 4. There's potentially going to be a GH shortage soon, so I just wanted to make sure that I've got enough in stock that I can keep it, and 4 IU is a sweet spot for me. everything else kind of has stayed the same. The only thing that changed here was the clenbuterol got pulled out and the T3 got halved to a replacement dose, and then eventually for next week it will be pulled out. Well, that's technically as of today because I didn't put any in this morning. Next week we're then going to pull out the SS31 and the MOTC. This is purely because I've run out. Like, let's be real. And we're going to add in Urolithin A, which is a mitochondrial support supplement, which actually I will show you just now. So this is Urolithin A by Proforma. So we can have a look at a little bit of a description here. Support your body at a cellular level with a scientifically backed formula. Urolithin A is a breakthrough postbiotic shown to support mitophagy, the body's natural process of removing damaged mitochondria. So where this supplementation, or the super supplementation as you might call it, is in play, this will help just kind of clean things out. I'm not actually sure what these are. They just kind of come alongside it, which is quite nice. So let's have a quick read. It's a flavonoid that's an antioxidant, so another oxidative stress, which is fine. PQQ, I'm not 100% sure what that is either. But this comes in a pill form, so support for nerve and brain function, that would be quite nice. So for people that don't know, I've been seeing a nerve specialist, so maybe this will help with that. So this is kind of what the dosing looks like for anyone that's interested. 500, 500 and that. And 20, sorry, not 200. So that is what we'll be taking, one capsule every day. Does it say anything about anything? 3 capsules. Use 3 times capsules twice daily. Okay. Okay, then that's what I'll be doing. I was under the impression it'd be 1, but anyway, that's fine. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'll kind of give you some feedback on what happens. I've got some blood work booked in the next couple of weeks, and let's see if it does anything from there. So back to the plan now. I've got blood work booked on the 21st, and then potentially using not potentially, if everything comes back nice, this will be the stack that I'm running, which is by far the greatest anabolic load that I've ever done. So totals up to 2 grams total, 1 gram of test, half that to EQ. I find that the 2-to-1 ratio for test to EQ keeps me really nice. And then topping up with mast to bring it to the 2 grams, and continuing on with 100 milligrams of MPP. Now, 100 milligrams, of MPP is plenty for me. It does exactly what I need it to. It gives me that extra strength boost, it gives me that extra rep, and keeps my joints nice and supple. And the rest of it will just be interesting to find out. So if we look at the tracker and just kind of look at the data, as we touched on, you've got the body weight changes. Steps have been, I must admit, so steps and cardio, this new setup I've been really enjoying. I have got a lot fitter quite quickly on the HIIT side of things. You can see that the calorie expenditure is actually a lot less. Is this a bad thing? Not really. The idea is to keep heart health in a good spot. I am giving it my all, as always. That's the point in HIIT. I'm doing 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. I don't think I've quite got 40 seconds in me yet. Maybe I got 35, but it's still getting there. But actually, that's putting me in a nice fat burn zone rather than really getting my heart rate up. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the next couple of weeks. I'm recording this today on the Saturday, so I haven't trained or logged my steps yet. But so far, if we have a look, I'm already 5,000 steps in, and it is 8:45 a.m. So not too concerned with that. It's been actually quite nice to get out in the nice weather in the morning, and I've got quite a nice routine going at the moment. So I get up, supplements, vacuums, and then get some mobility work done, then go for my walk, which is quite a nice little routine. So something I am noticing it here now is my blood pressure's coming down. This has been due to monitoring caffeine a lot better. As soon as my blood pressure is a little bit higher, I know that I'm taking the piss with caffeine, and that's what we can pull down. HRV had a big hit yesterday. With Thursdays for me is typically the day where I get the least amount of sleep. So I don't have, so long and short of it, I don't get a parking space at the office on Thursday. So I typically do more steps. So you see, I did about 15,000 steps. It's about an hour's drive to work, then about an hour's drive to the gym from work. So my day starts about 4:30, and then I probably won't be in bed till about 10 after everything is done. So it's just the way the day's structured, but once a week probably won't be too much of a problem. You can see up until then was fantastic, and then it's just a case of catching up. So last night's sleep was a little bit on the shorter end, simply down to my legs being really bloody sore from a really good leg day yesterday. So the check-in wise, what I went through with Nath was just giving him some feedback on how training's going. This is my sleep stats. So you can see overall time sleep reduced, the time awake increased, which would make sense. My REM sleep improved by 4 minutes, which isn't really significant. But the big one is deep sleep improved by 8 minutes. Now, you think, oh, it's only 8 minutes, but from going from 36 to 44 minutes, it's quite a big percentage increase. So, yeah. Put a few notes here for him to read. You can have a read through those and pause it if you like. And this is kind of just what I do each week. Other than that, though, there have been no changes to this week's plan. Nothing needed doing. So let's have a look how the physique is looking in the WhatsApp pictures I send across to him once a week. So this is the physique. You can see that I'm quite hairy today. The reason for this is I'm still dealing with those ingrown hairs, and time has just got away from me. So you can see the anabolics are starting to take hold again. Looking a little bit fuller, definitely across the arms and things like that. The legs are definitely growing, which is nice. Still some faint lines here. From the back, the glutes are still kind of boxed off, which is nice. So I'm not concerned. This is what I mean here. This is the shot where we determine how is my body composition. And if we go through, you can just see that muscle is slowly creeping on. Played around with a different way of hitting this pose. I kind of like it. I just want that leg to look a little bit better. Where I'm developing a sweep, it's looking a lot nicer of a shot. The classic pose at the end now actually looks a lot better as well. So this one, I'm working on getting my rhomboids open so that this should look even wider. I do have more muscle there to give. It's just a case of showing it. Now this is a shot that I'm really liking because the arm is actually starting to fill out, and I'm able to get that arm slightly straighter, which is really giving that out ahead of the triceps some love, which you can see there is actually starting to develop. And here, so you can just see everything's kind of bunched up here. This is me pushing my elbows this way to each wall as far as I can, and that's kind of all I've got at the moment. And same with here. In previous years, this shot has looked wider, and there's no way I've lost muscle tissue there. So it's just, I mean, there also could be the point that everything else has grown. So, which might make it look a little bit smaller. But yeah, it would be, if I can get that open, this shot will look a lot nicer. It also helped with training as well. So ab and thigh is still looking quite nice. And from the front, I like the fact that I can do both. So from the side, I literally just transition round and then pull that straight in. Arms look better from the front. Waist looks good from the front. Quads look better from the front. But midsection, I can't decide which one I prefer. Then most muscular is just, I'm standing more upright with this to show off the abs a little bit more. Now that I've got a little bit more arm size, you can kind of get away with it without creating too much of a gap. And this is what I mean by the favorite classic pose, hitting it slightly differently, which I do prefer. I really do like this. And I'm hopefully going to do a tutorial on how you can hit that pose. So that's my check-in for this week. Thank you for watching. If you've got anything that you'd like to see, video ideas or anything, please leave them down in the comments below. any feedback on this, any questions you've got on what my kind of process is, I'm more than happy to respond to anything that you get. As I say, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.